Hello and what's going on, everybody? This is my second video on the channel, and you probably already know from the thumbnail what dinosaur we're going to be reviewing today. But this one's really special because I already have this figure in hand out of the box, but I already have it, or I have it in the box. Yes, this is my second copy of the Giganotosaurus. The reason why I have two of them is because I will be customizing one or getting someone to customize it. And then this one is going to remain the color and features of the movie that it's portrayed in. Anyways, with every of that being said, sorry, stuttered there. Let's get into this review, or should I say re-review. This video would be including what I like about the figure, what I think they could upgrade on the figure, and if you should buy it or not. So, yeah, let's get into the review, shall we? Alright, first on, looking on the box, because I'm doing a box review today. Wasn't requested by anyone because no one commented on my other video, but that's fine. I feel like we should present the boxes on the channel more because I don't know. So I have another review that I'm going to be uploading in a day or so, and it will have the box included, but the figure would be already out of package. Anyways, looking at this box, we have the big window that portrays or shows the figure, this image of the figure with kind of different colored tones, but you get an image of that, the logo Hammond collection with obviously the logo, the Jurassic World or Jurassic Park logo. You have this little savanna open cutout over here. You have the Giganotosaurus or Giganotosaurus, whatever you like to say. I pronounce it Giganotosaurus just for this review, but yeah. The front of the box, you have an open window, some logos over here. The side of the box, you have Hammond collection, the logo, and then this cool image of the figure, but it doesn't really look like the figure. It looks like, what is the word? Kind of a cutout of the movie. You have the Jurassic World Dominion logo here. On the back of the box, you have more shots of the figure, the Jurassic World Dominion, the Hammond collection, the figure standing upright, and you have this stuff that you just have this information stuff that I don't want to read, but you have the Giganotosaurus, the title here, Giganotosaurus collided when Giganotosaurus carnivore collided when the Giganotosaurus takes on the Tyrannosaurus Rex in a desert battle, and the Giganotosaurus emerges victorious. However, after 65 million years, the epic rivalry comes to a head in Biosyn Valley, this time with a different outcome. Sorry, that was a lot. I don't know why. I don't know why that was a lot for me to speak. You have some of the figures, more of the figures from this, drop. I have not picked up any of these figures, but I will be trying to pick up the Pyroraptor and Therizinosaurus, which those will have a combined review if I ever pick them up. On the other side of the box, you have the big Hammond collection logo, and just more of this Savannah dark mood tone. Top of the box, you have this little cage part with lights coming out and the big Jurassic World sign. So their packaging is really good. I love how it looks with the open window leading into this side. It's just really just beautiful boxes. They have changed them for the newer ones, which I will show for one of the recaps for me, but it will be a new review for my video. So yeah, let's open this baby up and show you the figure. Before we open the figure, I have to say one more thing about the packaging, or the inside of the packaging that we'll look at. Oh my days. that we'll look at is that they have the older backdrop that you could see in the figure. That the newer ones kind of complement the more Savannah, dark, moody tone of the packaging. But it's kind of confusing because they removed that on the newer packaging, which I will show you in a later video. Anyways, that aside, let's get into the packaging. Opening up the package, be careful with sharp objects. I'm not going to say I'm a trained professional, but just be careful with them. So let's just open up the package. Wow, I should not really be dealing with this because I couldn't even get it open. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I just ripped the box right there, but it's whatever. And that fell. Whatever. We really need that back still. Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah. Because... Alright, opening up the figure now. Okay, let's just do... And I almost dropped the camera. Alright. And here it is, the Hammond collection giganotosaurus. Out in of the packaging, you have all of the pieces put together. I told you about the backdrop, more of a yellow sunset Savannah, while the newer packaging is like a more midnight packaging. But anyways, looking at the figure without the big box, you could see all of it, you know. Yeah. Let's open it. Actually, open it from the figure. Okay. So just give me one of those top pieces over. Yeah, I like to do that, pull these in the back and just cut them. I probably should have done this off camera. Let's see if I start this into 2 X. Okay, I'm gonna cut. Let's try to figure out. Okay, see what? Clean shape figure. Okay. The new. Are you kidding me? And that's one of the most top pieces over. I'm so sorry. There we go. Okay, let's just place this right here. I'll get it out. So, getting all the pieces out, we can see that the figure comes in an upright standing pose without its tail. And this is the very first time we've got the bigger collection, or the bigger theropods, and having a 2-section tail. You have this plastic piece and a rubber piece, and that you just insert it like that. That was really hard. Put this one. Okay, hold on. I really want to do this on camera, but okay, there we go. Let's get it to stand. So, seeing this new figure, you can see that is one of the longest theropods in the line. Probably is the longest theropod, as the Spinosaurus is the tallest, but this one's like lengthwise really big. I had to put him in the shot like this, can't really go up close. But seeing this guy out of package, I cannot say this anymore, but this creature is beautiful. I love the articulation on them, and just the feel of this figure I always have with my older part of this figure is just so beautiful. And yeah, let's get into the packaging. Let's get into the review and the sections of the review. We're getting into the articulation part of this video of the giganotosaurus. And while I say this creature, theropod, dinosaur has the most best articulation, or second best articulation from the line, with its separating jaw, you could move. We're going to start from the head to the tail. Okay. So the jaw has 2 like joints, so you could have it closing a little and have it close all the way, and then just opening the bottom part, and then the top part. Can the top part not move? Yeah, it can. Okay. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. So yeah, the jaw is on a double ratchet joint, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Don't flame in the comments. The neck is with 2 joints. The one that kind of moves the head. And then, whoa. And then this joint that moves the entire head, which this guy's really stiff. This is not like my old figure. Anyways, coming down to the arms, we have this, which is on a ball joint, I'm pretty sure. No, not a ball joint. It's just on like a swivel. Then it has one of these joints where it could go outwards, inwards. This one is on the same thing. The forearm joint is on the same thing. Swivel, up and down. If I could go, make it go up, up, and down. Hands are on the same exact joint. Go inwards, outwards, all around. And moving on to the leg portion, you have the thigh here, which is just a solid piece, and you have the knee joint, which they switched up the knee joints from the T-Rex. You could go that far forward, this far back. This this like, I guess you could say ankle joint. Really doesn't do much. It's just the support, but you can move it upwards and back a little, quite a bit. The feet are going to be on the same joint. This figure just the arms and the legs are basically the same joint everywhere, except the thigh, which I forgot to review the thigh one. But yeah, up, down. Really not too much on the legs, but yeah. Alright, I gotta get this figure standing. Alright, the thigh, it's on a ratchet joint, I'm pretty sure, which it goes this way and then clicks backwards that way. That's how far it could go. Forward and backward. Let's get it back on its stance. So, let's do this. Okay. Onto the tail, you have the solid piece that I was speaking about earlier, and to the rubber piece that I was speaking about earlier as well. And this is where I don't like the tail. Now, you see, with all the other figures, they always had just a solid wired tail, but I guess they just wanted to make this guy longer, beefier, so they added this plastic part and then this rubber part, which I'm not too mad about. It's just later on, the figure will get a little wonky in this section, as this is a heavier duty part, or no, actually, this is a heavier duty part supported by a light part, so it's ultimately gonna just flop over like that. That's what's happening with my older giganotosaurus figure. But anyways, this is on like just a joint that swivels this much. It could go that way, this way, down, not too much up because of the osteoderms or spikes, whatever you like to call those. This portion of the tail is going to be on a bendy wire, or just those joints that you could bend the tail in every direction, just like that. Could go the other way. So yeah, overall, this figure's articulation is one of the best articulations I've seen on the Hammond collection before the Spinosaurus. And yeah, let's just get into the painting and sculpting portion of this review. Getting into the sculpting and painting part of this video, we will be looking at the whole figure's paint job, the sculpting that develops into this figure. And yeah, let's just get into it. Now, there is some issues with this figure. For the head, the sculpting of the head. You see, predators are supposed to have their eyes facing forward to stare at their prey, to look at their prey. And herbivores or prey are supposed to have their eyes painting to the side of them. like this Gallimimus. See how its eyes you could barely see from the front? Here, let me zoom in. You see how you could see or barely see the eyes of the Gallimimus looking front view, but you could see them really well looking to one of the side views. Yeah, that's the problem with this figure. Seeing this on the giganotosaurus figure, you could actually see it really clear. You could barely see the eyes looking forward, and you could see the eyes clear as day looking to the side portion of the figure. And that just really disturbs me, as it's not really accurate. Well, this figure is not accurate at all for the real life counterpart. But for the sculpting, the eye is a little, here I have to zoom in again. The eye is a little too small, as it was really big in the movie. It's just really small for the eye, but don't get me wrong, this glass eye works really well. Not too well on camera though, but I do see it working in real life. But yeah, although this figure has some great sculpting on the spikes or osteoderms on its back, the scales, the ankle claws or the back claws are sculpted, not just sculpted onto the leg, but sculpted outwards. That's what makes this figure so good for me, that I like having it just like coming outwards. And they are painted. That's what we had a problem with only the Spino. The Spinosaurus is the only one that doesn't have paint on his dew claws or back claws. And the T-Rex does, but those two figures have the dew claws or back claws. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Just on the figure. And yeah. I love that about the figure. You can see the calf popping out here like it's a muscle man. But the osteoderms, like I said, they really did well on these osteoderms. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. They did well on these osteoderms, coming all the way and fading to the rubber portion of the tail. And that's where we go on to the paint. The paint of this figure is decent. It's actually good. I like the paint. But the only thing that doesn't appear great for me is the rubber part of the tail. Why? Well, you see, the paint has a dark foresty green to it. Going all the way here, you have like a little brown tone to the thigh. Also here, you have this gray, blackish, black making the stripes. This tan underbelly, tan beige underbelly, which looks really spectacular. And now you have this rubber part of the tail where it tones down all this. And it actually brightens them up. You could see that the dark foresty green fades into a light green that just doesn't look pleasing or doesn't look a part of the figure. It looks like that they spent all their paint here and then left this to die out. You can see that the black on the body, head, and plastic part of the tail are very glossy, very bright. But when we move to the rubber part, it's very dull and very lifeless. And this is probably due to paint being onto rubber and not having a real good shine, but I don't know. It's just something I don't like about the figure. Anyways, the teeth, for the painted portion, we have the mouth that's painted pink or reddish or red. You have the tongue that moves. I forgot to mention that in the articulation. See more of this pink gummy texture, which I love how they made the detail of the tail, or the tongue, sorry. You have these rubber pieces that are supposed to represent gums and just look really good. The teeth are so well done, really separated, really sculpted on individually. There's barely any copy and paste. They all have their different forms, different sizes, and they just look really good. The yellow they put on here is really well comparing to the T-Rex. It is a yellow, a mustard brownish yellow that looks horrible for the figure. But anyways, overall for this figure, this is a 100% pickup if you want, or if you like the giganotosaurus. There is some problems with the head, but overall, looking away from that, this figure is a 10 out of 10, and you all should pick it up. So in the next video, I'll be reviewing the Hammond collection sticky Moloch, because that is one of my favorite small herbivore low dudes. And yeah, for this figure, 100% guaranteed love this. You're gonna get your money worth. But anyways, if you like this video, like and subscribe, and comment what my other reviews should include and what should I be more specific on. Anyways, this is Daniel Boy out. See you guys in the next video.